A few months ago, I was very lucky to get a copy of Tetrarchia and enjoy it immensely. It is an absolutely fantastically fun cooperative game, and now its author, it's gone one step further and is releasing Hispania, which plays on the same theme of the Romans invading the Iberian Peninsula, although in Tetrarchia it was the whole of the continental Europe, and we are going to be playing the Romans. Oh, yeah, we're going to be the colonialists. And my God, it feels so good. This is the first video of two in which we are going to explain the rules and talk a little bit about the story and the history of the game. And then in the second video, we're going to be talking and playing one game of Hispania. And I really hope that you'll enjoy it. Miguel, hi. Very good to have you around. We've been planning on playing this, and I've been so gagging to try Hispania for months since Luis told me about this. But the people watching this video may understandably not know who you are or why we're here, but you're a very accomplished game designer with Tetrarchia and now Hispania. But who are you? I mean, basically, why are you here?
Okay, so yeah, first thanks to having me for having me here, and I have made very few designs. So you mentioned Tetrarchia, it's the most successful one, but there are not many that have been published besides Tetrarchia. And so I am a nuclear physicist, and I have two hobbies, that's board games and history. And so with games like Tetrarchia or Hispania that we will see today, I try to match both hobbies, and I try to make games on history. And for now, I'm mostly working on the Roman Empire. So different phases of the Roman Empire, but
and for the record, okay, people watching the channel may already know that I am a huge fan of Tetrarchia because it is really super fun. It's a fairly simple game to get to grips with rules-wise, but then there is a huge amount that you can do with it, with both the levels of difficulty and the number of chapters or histories that you can add, different scenarios that you can add to it. But we are running one risk, and it's that I could be bubbling about Tetrarchia for hours. So let's not, or let's concentrate on Hispania, which is like kind of a successor to Tetrarchia.
Yeah, it's a bit weird because it's a prequel in time. So it happens in the year 200 before Christ. So it happens before the Tetrarchy, but it's a game that arrives after Tetrarchia, and it benefits from many successful mechanics that we have introduced in Tetrarchia, and I have been able to improve on them.
Okay.
So
good.
Maybe to explain the origin of this design, so Tetrarchia was published by Nestor Games in 2015. Then it stopped this game line, Nestor. And in 2021, I reached Draco Ideas, and I published the second edition of Tetrarchia with them. And it has been selling very well, still does. And so Draco asked me if I could try to do a similar game within the Spanish history. And I said no, because there was nothing equivalent to the Tetrarchy in Spanish history. But then I said to Luis, let me think about it. So I went through my books, and then I finished at some point in the Roman conquest of Spain, and I realized that with changes in the mechanics, but keeping most of them, I could do a game. And then I started, and then everything, as in Tetrarchia, I was happy that almost everything I tried worked. And what you will see today is not the final board. So what you see on the screen is the prototype. So the game will look better Matias Cazorla is working on the graphics, but the structure of the board is this one. So this is the final prototype that we have used to make the real copy of the game.
Okay, so let's go for this. Give me a bit of an overview as to how Hispania plays.
Yeah. So in Hispania is a cooperative game, and the number of players goes from 1 to 3. So what you see here on the right hand side is the pieces of the game. So as you said, I like games that are with simple rules, but also with simple pieces. So basically, I prefer to have pawns and not small cardboard units with a lot of text on them and different values. So in Hispania, you will have wooden discs, you will have sticks, like you see here. These are Roman roads, and you will have meeples, and all the meeples are equivalent. And the characters of the game. So maybe we start with the map.
Okay.
So as I said, it's about year 200 before Christ. So for those who know the period, is right when Rome has defeated Hannibal, and the Punic Wars, the Second Punic War has ended, and then Rome takes over all the Carthaginian possessions in Hispania, which are what you see here, the Ulterior province and the Citerior province. So the one farther from Rome and the one closer to Rome. And then at that point, Rome asks the praetors of the provinces, which will be here, the red meeple will be the praetor from Ulterior province. The yellow meeple will be the praetor from the Citerior province. Rome will ask them to conquer the whole peninsula. And it's going to be very hard for them.
Wow,
So
we're not just going to let them come in and take everything, are we?
Yeah. So Hispaniards were not very welcoming people at the time, especially to the Romans. And then Rome often sent a consul, and the consul will be the yellow meeple.
Okay.
So all in all, you have three characters, 3 Roman generals that will try to conquer Hispania. So the game plays from 1 to 3 players, and they all have the same goal. Yeah, they have to conquer Hispania. So you can play as a solitaire game, because since all the meeples work together, you can handle the 3 generals. You can play 2 players, so each one will use 1 praetor, and they will share the consul. And if you are 3 players, then you can have
one each,
one general each.
Okay.
So this is the basic principle of the game. So what you see here as black meeples, this will be the Hispanic armies that will try to hinder the conquest.
Okay.
But nobody will handle them. They will. You will see. It's a mechanic using 2 dice, a Roman die and a Hispanic die, that will dictate how they move and how they attack, etc.
Okay. So we're going to be the assholes and try to conquer our country. Fine, I can live. I can live with that. So let's go through game setup and the rules. Human beings that are watching this, what we're going to do is basically we're going to explain how the game plays, to give you an idea as to how really simple it is. Seriously, I've read the rules. It's not difficult. And then in a second video, we are going to be playing a game, so both Miguel and I can be completely obliterated by the Spanish people who are not keen on the Roman idiots coming and taking their paellas away. So, game setup. How do we start?
Yeah. As I said to Luis when I started finishing the prototype, I said, because at the beginning he told me if the players could be the Hispanic armies, and then they playing against a Roman engine. But the engine is a bit random. And so it fit better the Hispanic behavior and the Roman behavior. So in the end, I told him, look, we will be the Romans. If we win, we won. And if we lose, then we are happy because the Hispaniards have won.
So there's no way to lose in this game.
There's no way to lose, especially for Spanish people. So for the setup, so what you see here, you have 6 areas. So there were only 2 provinces, Ulterior and Citerior. These were the real, actual Roman provinces, and I needed to divide the rest of the board in regions, areas, zones. So I will call them provinces too. So in the rule book, we made clear that they were not provinces, but this is the name that we chose. And you see them here with a white banner from 1, Illyria, Celtiberia, Carpetania, Lusitania, Galaesia, and Cantabria. So we chose a language-independent board. Everything is in Latin. So this board will be the same for the different versions of the game.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense because everybody can speak Latin, so why not?
Yes.
It's a cultural thing.
Yes. And so we have 6 regions. They are identified by 6 provinces. If we want to keep the same name, they are identified by a Roman numeral from 1 to 6. And in each of them, you have 6 cities. And they are identified by a standard numeral from 1 to 6 too. Is that this black shield. And you see that, so the black shield is some kind of rating of the importance of the city. So as you can imagine, it was not easy to find 36 cities in a 200-year period. So some of them are Iberian settlements, others are real Roman cities that appear later in the game. But well, I had to choose, and I reached this compromise. And so city number 6 in each province is identified as the capital. So in Illyria, for example, the capital is Osca.
Okay.
Which, and you can see clearly Numantia is the second capital, Toledo is the third. They have some kind of wall around, they have a star symbol, and they are number 6. The goal of the Romans is to place a garrison, which are the color discs here, place a garrison on these 6 capitals. Once they do, they won.
Okay.
If they don't, if they cannot place the garrisons on the 6 capitals, they lose. And the limit of the game, because they cannot do it forever, they have to do it before something happens. And this before something happens is the revolt reserve. So you see here, there are already 22 revolts. These are black discs. They are going to fill more progressively the board. And every round, so here you see the turn track. Every round we will see 3 turns. So the red praetor begins, then the yellow praetor, and then the consul. At the end of the round, we will place 1 revolt in the time track that we see here. So every round, we remove a revolt and we place it in the turn track.
Okay.
And this has 2 consequences. The first one is that the number of revolts decreases during the game. And if you run out of revolts, you lose.
Okay, so Spain loses basically. Hispania is conquered.
No. If you must place a revolt on the board and there are no revolts left.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So since every round we are going to remove 1 revolt to place it on the track, this means that there will be fewer revolts to place on the board. So with time, it's easier to lose the game. So you have to try to win, even if things look good. You have to hurry up because every round that passes gets you closer to the defeat.
Okay.
And if you keep playing without conquering the capitals and with some revolts left, there is another defeat condition is when you reach the end of the millennium. So here, each round is about 18 years. So we start in 198 before Christ, then 180, 62, 44. The last round is the last 18 years before the change of the millennium.
Okay.
So if you reach the end of the first century before Christ and you have not won, then you lose. So the Romans have to place 6 color discs on the capitals before revolts run out or before you reach the last space of the time track. So a game of Hispania can last a maximum of 11 rounds. There are 11 rounds, so it will take 11 rounds or less.
Okay.
And so with this, maybe I can start setting up the game. And while I set up the game, we can see the different rules. As you say, there are few, but yeah, so we have to go through them.
Okay, let's go.
So the first thing we do is we start, yeah, so I said, here you can, let's take the yellow praetor and put it in Valencia.
Mm-hmm.
So close to you.
Yes, my neighbor, probably.
And so I said, so you see the cities are linked, connected by links. And so Romans will move through those links and also the Spaniards. So moving, so yeah, sorry, here you have coins. So these are 6 coins. So in the real game, there will be
6 real coins.
Almost real coins.
Okay.
And you spend those coins. So each coin is an action point. So in this game, we wanted people to have to keep track of what they are doing. So with the turn track, you know who is playing in the round. And with the coins, you know how many points you spent already and how many points you have left in your turn. So you can spend the 6 points. And the actions are very simple and their cost is very simple. For example, going from here to here, it costs 1 point. So you go from one city to another one through a normal link. And in this Vassal module, you click on the coin and it is crossed. So you have already used 1. And then you see that there are some broken links. Here, from if I want to go to Segovia, this is another coin. If I want to go to Celtiberia, the link is broken. This represents mountains or rivers. You see, for example, here the Iberus. You have all the links that cross the Iberus are broken. So when they are broken in 2 pieces, then it costs 2 points. If I want to go from Segovia to Bilbidis, then this will take 2 points.
Gotcha.
And some of them, especially in the Pyrenees,
can be even harder.
They are broken twice, so they have 3 pieces. They will cost 3 points. So you pay 1 point per piece of link. So this is the first action. So this is the way we will move through the board. And as I said, the objective is to go here in Numantia and you place one of your garrisons. So placing a garrison, it costs 1 point. You can also remove it for 1 point. Okay. So it looks easy. You say, okay, so the only thing we need to do is move to these 6 capitals and place a garrison. But the thing is that you cannot do it at the start of the game because when you want to conquer a capital, you need the whole province to be free of revolts. And the game will start with 1 city per province in revolt. So the first thing that the players will do is remove the revolts so that they can occupy the capital.
Okay.
So let's start in the setup. Here you have the dice at the top. So you have the Roman dice, the white one, the Hispanic dice, the black one. So For example, which city in Helvetia will have the revolt at the start? So we roll the black die and we go roll a 3. So this means that city number 3 is Calaguris. So we have to place a revolt in Calaguris. And in Hispania, you have only one kind of bad disc, which is the black ones. But you can have several of them in the same city, up to 3.
Oh, so it would make it harder to get rid of the revolt.
Yeah. So there is a thing I told you that the number of the coordinate in the black shields orders cities with respect to their importance. And this is important if you want to remove. So for example, if this yellow praetor comes here and he wants to remove this revolt in Calaguris, he has to roll the Roman die and he has to roll higher than the shield.
Oh, okay.
So in this case, for example, he didn't succeed. So this means that removing shields in low value cities is very easy, but removing them in high value cities is very difficult.
Okay.
And this is why when at the start, to avoid that you roll only small cities or only big cities, when the city is small, 1 or 2, you will place 3 revolts. Gotcha. When the city is medium, 3 or 4, you will place 2 revolts, like Calaguris. And when the city is big, like 6 or 5, you will place only 1. This is the reason why. So we keep rolling. Now we go to province number 2, Celtiberia, and we roll a 4. 4 is Cauca. So we will place 2 revolts in Cauca because it's number 4. We go to Carpetania 6. So this is Toletum, only 1 because it's an important city. We go to Lusitania, again a 6. So Olisipo is Lisbon. Galaesia, again a 6.
Wow.
Byzantium and Cantabria a 3. Parantia. So with this, we have the starting revolt. So you see that there is one city in each province. So we cannot protect any capital at the start. And I said, I didn't say, but there are few rules. And one of the things that in Hispania is that there are a few parameters that you can choose to set the game difficulty. And these parameters are 5. So one of them is how many coins you will use. So what I showed here on the right panel is the average difficulty. So you see only 6 coins, but you can play with 7 or you can play with 5. So this, which means that you can have more actions per turn or less action per turn.
Okay.
Then the garrisons, you see that each general has 4 of them. You can play with 5, you can play with 3. The fleets are the white discs. You can play with 4 or you can play with 2. And the sticks are the Roman roads. So you see that some of them are already drawn on the board. 6 of them in the Roman capital, in the Roman provinces. You can add a few of them, and they make movement easier. And so in this difficulty, we have an medium difficulty. We have 4 of them, and finally the armies. So some armies will start on the board. In easy level, you have only 1. Medium level, which is what we are going to set up now, you will have 2. And in hard level, you will have the 3 of them from the start. And to place them, we roll the Roman die. Because in Hispanian armies, so Hispanians were very, they didn't like to cooperate among themselves. So they hated the Romans, but they hated also the other
each other's.
So in the game, the way I reflect this is that they cannot share a province. So you can have a maximum of 1 army per province. So what we are going to roll now is in which province they start. So 5 is the Galaesia. So we place one army here. They are always on a revolt.
Okay.
And the second one, we roll a 2. So this is Celtiberia, so in Cauca. And this is how this particular game would start. So, and you see that since everything is random, we have rolled the dice. So, and every game will be different, even at the same difficulty. Now, the setup is not finished yet because, yeah, so I told you how to move from one space to the next through rings. And what you see is that there are 5 sea spaces around Hispania. And these spaces are also connected by links. So which means game-wise, they are exactly like the land links. But, of course, you need something to sit on. So you need a fleet. So at the beginning, in this level, we have 3 fleets. We will place them in the first 3 seas. So now, for example, the yellow praetor can go to Puciada, spending 1 coin. To Bilbili is spending 2 coins. He can go to the fleet in the Mare Balearicum, spending 1 point because the link is normal one. From here, he can go here because they are also connected. He can go back to land in Malacca, and so on.
Okay.
And when you want to go further along the Atlantic coast, of course, you will need to move these ships up.
And that would cost 2 points? One for the
1
fleet?
point.
Or just 1 point
So,
for the two characters?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when it is your turn, the action move, you can move your meeple or any fleet.
Okay.
This is the restriction. So you move your character or any fleet, even if there is another player on top. So for example, if now it was red turn, if he could move any of the ships here to the next place, but he could also move this ship and take the yellow player up here.
Gotcha.
So to prepare his next turn, maybe the yellow player would like to go to Fabio Briga, and so being there makes things easier for him. So, well, I took a fleet to line. So, yeah, so going back to the start. Now, we have placed all the Hispanic part of the setup. And in Hispania, you have these Roman roads, which will be wooden sticks in the actual game. These sticks, the role is to make movement easier for the Romans. So when you place the stick on a link, it becomes a one-piece link. So for example, if I place here from Gades to Emerita, the link is broken because you go through the Baetis River. You can place this piece here. Now it is our one-piece link. So if I were here in Gades with 1 point only, I could go to Emerita.
Okay.
Even if the link was broken, but now it's not broken because we built a Roman road on top. So this is one advantage of the Roman roads. You make all links one piece. But there is an even stronger advantage is that you can move through a link, through a chain of Roman roads. So for example, here from Emerita to Basti, you will take only 1 coin. Because they are connected through a network of
Gotcha.
of roads. So the only limitations in the setup is that the pieces that you add to the board must extend the network. You cannot place one piece in the north of Spain, for example. So the only limitation is that you start from the coast, from the Roman provinces, and you can go inside inland, but through a network, a continuous network. So, for example, in this case, the only thing you cannot reach a revolt. So this is abstracted, saying that you cannot build roads in places where the Spaniards are not welcoming you. And so, for example, in this case, we have 4 sticks to place. So if you see, for example, between Regina and Avula, there is a 3-piece link because you cross the Anas and the Tajos. So this link, if you can build a road on that link, is quite interesting. So if you place one road here from Cordoba to Regina, you can place the next one here from Regina to Avula. And you see that the 2 Roman provinces are not connected by roads. Here between Bastia and Cartagonova, the link is broken. You can also place one there. And now you can go from Avula to Tarraco with only 1 coin. And the other way around.
That sounds very useful.
Of course, players have to agree in the placement of these roads because there will be some action here from the red praetor, but the yellow praetor may want to go to the north.
Mm-hmm.
And here you see that there are mountains and there are rivers to cross. So it could be interesting to have also one there. For example, to cross the Iberus, you can place one from Del Tosa to Salduga.
Okay.
And in this way, so the Hispanic part was random, the setup. The Roman part of the setup is your choice. So you have a choice to make depending on the initial threats. You have a choice to make in how you place these roads. And now the last choice before you start is place the meeples. So the 3 Roman generals start on the board. So the red praetor has 4 cities to choose, his 4 cities. For example, in this case, we won't require start in Cordoba. The yellow can start in Valencia, Del Tosa, it doesn't matter much. And the consul, the blue, has no province in Spain. He comes from Rome.
Okay.
And it is symbolized by this blue arrow, which comes more or less from Rome, to remind players that the consul comes by the sea. So you can place the consul in any fleet. You could place it in Mare Balearicum if you think that it will try to cooperate with the yellow meeple from the start. Ibericum if he's going to cooperate with the red, or even Gaditano if he will try to go up the Atlantic coast on his own. And in this way, the game is ready to start. You see that the revolt reserve is at 13.
Mm-hmm.
So we are 13 revolts from the defeat.
Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. So
and now what we will try to do is remove revolts, but the armies are going to spread revolts.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing each of our generals, and then so we're going to be playing red general, Spanish people, yellow general, Spanish people,
exactly.
Consul, Spanish people, and so on and so forth, up to 11 times.
Yeah, that's right. So it seems little, 11. So if we are playing 3 players, it means that each player is going to play a maximum of 11 turns.
Mm-hmm.
But turns are very
comprehensive.
Many things happen.
Yeah.
So and you will see that the players need to cooperate. So it seems much longer than one would think. So maybe we can end up with the actions.
Yes.
The Roman actions. So now we know how to move. Next, we cannot go in reverse. So the Romans, for example, imagine that the consul here, if there was no revolt in Olisipo, imagine that this revolt was in Emerita, the consul could start his turn like this. So he could reach Olisipo, but he cannot place a garrison in Olisipo because there is still one revolt in Lusitania.
Gotcha.
But he could go in Olisipo and from there maybe move inside to try to help the red praetor. But okay, so he cannot do it because he cannot enter revolt. So this is very simple. You can only go where there are no black pieces. And with this, I think all movement has been explained. You can go through other metals, but you cannot stop where they are. So the yellow one could go to Gades, going through Cordoba, but without stopping in Cordoba. So you can cross other metals, but you cannot stop where they are. And with this is the move action. Now, the other action we have already seen is placing or removing garrisons. So I said that, for example, this guy would pay 1 coin to go to Regina. Then he could pay another coin to place a garrison. As I said, you can place up to 3 discs per city. It can be revolt, but it can also be garrisons. So he could place up to 3 garrisons in Regina if he wanted. Sometimes it may be useful, but most of the times it doesn't. They can coexist. So maybe if there was already one yellow garrison, he could place a red one. And he can remove a garrison, paying also another coin. So this is the second action. So you move, you place and remove garrison, and the 2 actions left are the ones involved in removing the black pieces. So one of them is kind of removing revolts. So if you want to remove, for example, here, if you want to remove the revolt in Toletum, you could move here. So this costs 2 coins. So the 2 coins up there. And now I can attack Toletum. So as I said, attacking is rolling higher than the number, the shield. So I roll the Roman die, and I have to roll more than 6, so it's impossible. But there are 3 ways to increase the value of your attack. One of them is the garrisons you are connected to. So if you have 1 garrison here, 1 garrison here, then when you attack Toletum, you would add 2 because you have 2 garrisons connected to you. Now, you see that the banner of the Roman provinces has a +1. So a red +1 here and a yellow +1 here. This represents the support that each praetor has from his base. And this will count as a generic garrison that is all over his province.
Okay.
So in this particular case, this counts as like Cordoba had a red disc. And so in this particular attack to Toletum, you would have the roll of the die +1, 2, or 3.
Gotcha.
And it must be connected to you. So for example, imagine that I am here. This is not exactly true, but with the information that we have until now, let's do it. For example, if we are like this, this guy went inland and he cut himself from the support base. So now he's connected to only 1 disc. This one. So attacking Toletum now would add only 1 because this disc is not connected to him and this +1 is not connected to him.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question. When you place the garrisons in a city with a high number, like for instance, right now you place a city in a garrison in a city with 4, you can only place one garrison. It's not like the revolts where you can have more than one in a particular
No,
city.
you can place more than one.
Okay.
So, for example, if you go to Castulo, for example, of course, if you have created a group of garrisons that is connected to you, you can benefit more from them, because from here you are connected to these 2 and the +1 from the Ulterior province. But if you attack from here, you are also connected to these 3 points. From here, you are also connected to 3 points. So it's very important where you place your discs, your garrisons. Because if you place them, for example, here, you can place them all here in Castulo. So this will add you also 3, +2 from your disc, +1 here. So it's +3 for Toledo. But when you go away from here, you lose the connection. So it's important to occupy the space with your garrisons, and this is why you can place them, you can remove them. So you can place them for one attack, but then you can remove them and replace them somewhere.
So they do have some strategic value. It's not just a tactical value.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so in this case, for example, let's say I attack Toledo. So I have to roll more than 6, but I have already +3. So now I can roll 5 +3, 8. So I can remove Toledo. Okay. And if I remove Toledo, now that there is no revolt in province number 3. So I could enter Toledo, spending 2 points because the link is broken once. And then I could place 1 garrison in Toledo. So Toledo is already protected, and I have still 1 coin left. So I could try to go here, for example, or pass, or I could place a second garrison in Toledo if I wanted. It's not very wise, but
you could.
I could. Okay, so this is how you attack. You attack revolts. So you can add your. I said there are 3 ways to increase your chances. So one is your discs, your garrisons. You have to place them wisely so that they support you. Second thing that you add is coins. So the attack action costs from 1 to 3 coins. And it's up to you. You can be cheap and attack spending only 1 coin, or you can expensive and you attack spending 3. The thing is that the coins will add to your die roll.
Okay.
So if I want to be sure, here, for example, if I spend only 1, I say, okay, I want to do other things in my turn, so I spend only 1 in attacking Toledo. Then I will add 3 from my discs and this support from Ulterior, plus 1 coin. I add 4 to my roll. So it's not bad, but still it's not granted.
Okay.
But I could add 3. I could spend 3 coins. Now I'm adding 6 to my roll. 3 from my discs, my red disc, 3 for my coins. So by spending 3 coins, I don't even need to roll because I have already plus 6. Even if I roll a 1, I will remove the revolt in Toledo. So this is some ingredient in the game that will lead to many fights between the players, because some players will say, okay, no, I want to keep some money for later, and they will fail, or on the contrary, So this is something that you can. So this is the second way. You can add garrisons, you can spend coins, and the last thing that you can do is cooperate with other players. So let's imagine that the yellow praetor is here. I attack Toledo, and my yellow colleague is connected to Toledo too. So in that case, his contribution will be multiply my value times 2.
Okay.
So now, in this case, I attack Toletum. I have +3 from my red garrisons. I could spend only 1 coin, for example. So I have +4. But since I have another Roman general connected to Toletum, I multiply times 2. So it's automatic victory. Even if I roll a 1, it will be 4 + 1, 5, times 2, 10. So
Okay.
in the game, if you don't want to spend a lot of coins in attacks, it's better to use your other partners to multiply times 2. So the times 2 factor is the strongest one in the attack. So if you don't, if each character goes on his own,
They will not get too far.
it will be very expensive for them to go far, because they will do very few things, because they will be very expensive. So these are the 3 ways in which you can affect an attack to a city, to remove a revolt. If there were 2 revolts, as I said, it could be, then you attack them one by one. So I could attack this revolt first, remove it, then I need to attack again to remove the second one.
Gotcha.
And so we have already 3 actions: move, place and remove discs, garrison, attack revolts is the third, and attack the armies is the final action we need to see. So attack the armies works on the Roman side, it works as attacking the cities. So here, if I attack this army in Cauca, I will add 3 to my roll, because I am connected to this +1 in the Ulterior province. But on the Hispanic side, he will add, in a similar way, the revolts that are connected to him. So this army will roll the Hispanic die, the black die, but it will add to that die 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this case, if I attack from Abula to Cauca, we are both rolling a die. I am adding 3 to my result. He's adding 5 to his result. It could work, but
unlikely.
Most likely it will not work. But as I said, on the Roman side, it's the same as attacking a revolt. So if the yellow praetor was here, then I am adding 3, but I multiply the final result times 2, because he is connected to my target.
Okay.
So this is a way you have to coordinate if you want to visit the armies. So there are 2 things you can do to weaken the army. You can remove revolts that are connected to him. So this will decrease his bonus on his die. But you can also use your partners to try to do times 2 to these armies. For example, in this case, imagine that I am going to attack. There are also the number of coins I can spend from 1 to 3. Imagine that I spend 1 coin. So now the red praetor is adding 1, 2, 3, plus 1 coin, 4. So I am adding 4 to my die. He is adding 5, because he has 5 revolts. But I'm multiplying times 2 because the other praetor is here. So we roll the die. If I roll a 4, it rolls a 6. So for him, it's 6 times 6 plus 5 is 11. For me, it is 4 times 3, plus 3 plus 1 is 8. Okay? So 8 against 11. Without this guy here, I lose. But with this guy here, my 8 becomes a 16. So now it's 16, 8 times 2 against 11. So he is defeated. So we remove everything. Everything here is removed.
Okay.
And of course, imagine that this guy was not here. We cannot afford to wait for him. So I could also spend 3 coins. In that case, I will add 1, 2, 3 from my discs, plus 3 from my coins. I don't multiply times 2, but already this is +6 and he is +5. So if we roll, not enough. So I could have won, but here without this guy also connected, it's more risky. So this is the way, these are all the things that the Romans can do.
Okay.
And with this, once you have used all your coins, you end your phase, the Roman phase, and now there is the Hispanic phase. So in the Roman phase, you try things to get better. In the Hispanic phase, things will get worse. And this will go until the end of the game. So the way in which things go worse, so you do only two things in the Hispanic phase. The first one is you make something bad happen in any of the 36 cities. And for this, we roll the 2 dice. So the 2 dice are used for combat. They are also used for the random threats. So for example, 5, 2. 5 means Galicia, 2 means Lancia. So since this city is empty, we will place a revolt. And this will happen after every Roman phase. So something will reach the board. If you roll a city that is empty, this will be a revolt. If you roll a city that is protected, so imagine that we have this situation. If you roll 5-2, nothing happens because you have a garrison in that place. Or you could also have meeple. Again, nothing happens. So this is, as we said, there is a strategy point of view. When you place your garrisons, you should spread them as much as possible to give you more support, but also to protect the arrival of new revolts. So if there is some Roman peace, nothing happens. If there is nothing, then you place a revolt. If there was already a revolt, then you place a new army. So these are the 3 things: either nothing, either a revolt, either it was already a revolt, you place an army. The only exception to this, as I said, the Spaniards, they didn't like each other. So if there is already one army in this province, there can only be one at most. So you cannot place a new army, so you place a new revolt, since you have room for 3 of them. And in this way, something bad will reach the board. So this is the first thing that you do in the Hispanic phase. The second thing you do is the armies move. And they move trying to spread revolt. So they move within their province because, yeah, as I said, they don't like each other. So they are trying to spread the revolt in their own province. And for this, there is a semi-random mechanic, which is, for example, this army here in Cauca, it is connected to only one city in his province, which is Numancia. So this army will move here. If you have only one choice, you go there and you place a revolt. This army here, it can go to Bracara or Lucus. When there is a choice, you roll the black die and you go to the closest one, the result. So in this case, 5 is closer to 6. So this army will go to Bracara. And you see that already by doing this, we have placed one revolt here, and the armies have moved, placing another revolt. So this way, the revolt reserve is going to go down. And as you see, when these guys move, they can move against one of our meeples if we don't pay attention, or against one of our garrisons. And in that case, it will be as a Roman attack, but a Hispanic attack. So imagine this guy, for example, now in Bracara, he moves to Lucus. So this, when you have a choice, you have to roll the die. But when there are several cities, the ones without revolt have priority because these armies want to spread revolt. So this guy in Bracara, next turn, next phase, Hispanic phase, he will move to Lucus because he's the only city without revolt connected to him. If there is a garrison, he will attack the garrison.
Okay.
And he will attack the garrison in the same way that we attack revolts. So he will roll his die, and he will add 2 because he is connected to 2 revolts, and he will have to roll more than 4, which is the seal value. So in this case, for example, 4 plus 2, 6, he will remove the garrison in Lucus. So in this way, even capitals that are protected, later in the game, they can be attacked by Hispanic armies and they can be removed. So the game is very dynamic because you have to conquer and you have to protect your conquest. If you don't, maybe you will reach the north, but then the southern provinces will revolt again and you will fail to conquer the whole land before the end of the millennium.
Okay.
And this is everything, more or less, in the rules.
So it's actually quite, it's a fairly simple game. There isn't really, it's more about thinking where you're going to go and where you're going to place your protections rather than how many times you need to read the rules to play the game. But I think we should put this to the test and make another video, human beings, and play a couple of rounds and see what happens.
Yeah, because so this you will see in the rule book. With the rule books are already available in the game found page, on the per campaign page, and we have tried to put a lot of examples in the rule book. So every action we explain, we add an example, and we hope that in this way people will try to learn each piece of the rules, and then with one round of play, I think that everything will click.
Good. So in that case, let's try that. Humans, we will be right back in the next video.
Bye.